Hey everyone, Sean here, aka Bald and Angry. Wanted to show you guys what I do after my workouts. I was just out in my garage, picked up a couple of tires from a tire store, and I was actually throwing tires. It's a really great workout. Got some really big, 17-inch tires, threw those around for a while, did some bicep curls, feeling really good. Been fasting for about 18 hours, so I'm going to break my fast with steak and eggs. I've got my eggs here. These are cage-free, not organic. Got a few of those left. Picked those up at a local big box store here. I've got my steak, which actually came from a local farm. It's all grass-fed. I've had it marinating for a couple of days. This is an eye-around steak. It's a really good steak, inexpensive. I sliced it up, marinated it. I'll be cooking some of that up. And I've got my organic butter. Let's get started. So I'm going to get my pan heated up here. I like to go over just a little bit over medium on the heat. And I use a liberal amount of butter. Get that in the pan, get that melting. Alright, got that going good. I'm using a cast iron pan. You can use a regular pan. I like cast iron. It heats really well. And supposedly you can pick up a little extra iron from the pan. Like the way I said iron. Alright, pan's going. I'm going to get out some steak. I like to cut my steak fairly thin. I'm a real big fan of medium rare. I typically will sear it decently on both sides and it's good to go. Kill any germs that might be on there. But there's nothing wrong at all with eating meat that is almost raw. In fact, I think that's the way we really should eat meat. A little bit of cooking kill any type of germs, but the longer you cook the meat, you denature the proteins, so it's not as good for you. And there's been studies that have shown that, probably well-done steak is carcinogenic if you're grilling it, that sort of thing. So I don't buy into all the science. So I usually weigh my steak, but I got a pretty good idea of what I've got in here. I'm going for probably about 3/4 of a pound. Alright, so steak's already seasoned, but I like to hit it with a little extra salt and pepper while I'm cooking it here. So let that sear really nicely. Cooking on one side there. Doesn't hurt if you want to kind of move the steak around a little bit, let it soak up the butter. Alright, I'm going to flip it over. Same thing, I'm going to hit it with a little more salt. One thing when you're doing the steak and eggs diet, sodium, salt, is not evil. You need it. Keeps your electrolyte balance correct, so you won't become dehydrated. Plus it tastes good. Alright. So I'm going to move these around a little bit here. Again, these are sliced really thin. They're going to cook fairly quickly. Again, I don't want to cook them all the way through. I want to get kind of a nice medium rare. And one thing you can do when you're cooking the steak is kind of watch the top. And when you see a little bit of the blood pool up on top, you know it's about time to flip the steak. So we're going to let these cook just a little bit longer. I'm going to move these over to the side of the pan. And throw in some more butter. Get that going in there really nice. I normally would do 6 eggs. I'm only going to do 3. We're actually going out with some friends later on, and I'm going to enjoy, a non-steak and eggs meal. So I'm going to kind of cut the eggs back a little bit just because of the calories. But normally I would go with 6 eggs. So I just crack them right in to the pan. Being careful not to get any shells. Should get a little bit closer there, get a little shot of what's going on in the pan. Looking good. I'll crack another egg in there. Alright. So I'll let those cook for a minute. And what I'll do here is I'll get some pepper in there. Some more salt. Alright. So my steak, I'm going to flip it one more time there. Alright, that's looking good. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that steak out. And just set that to the side, like that. Alright, so I got my eggs to deal with. I'm going to grab a spatula. And just move those around in the pan. I like to break the yolks up and scramble them right in the pan. Again, another point to bring up about even cooking eggs. You can eat eggs raw. I put them in shakes. I'd rather cook them, and I like them somewhere where they're not overcooked, but I don't like them runny. So you have to kind of find that balance between the two. So get these cooked up. They're almost done. Spread them out a little bit. Scrape the bottom of the pan a little bit there. Alright, they're looking good. I'm going to turn off the burner. Give them a little more salt. Alright, now we're just going to put them on top of our steak. Very nice. So there you go. Steak and eggs. This is a man's meal. It's good for women too. Maybe not as much steak, maybe a fewer eggs, but this is great for bodybuilding. It's low carb. It's whole food. Whole food. It's really good. Talk to you later. Thanks.